putting out video content, the bonus from being disciplined, consistent, and having substance, it builds character. We would always say in the Marine Corps, dirt builds character. No, YouTube is building character. The 4 reasons why you should do content creation is going to give you the discipline you need to stay committed to the goals that you have set for yourself. And it's going to have more substance, which some people may call that the why. But I will say, you don't really, in my opinion, you don't really have the why until you realize what you really want. And then that's going to build your character. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome again to another edition of Let's Talk Marketing with NDUB Podcast, where I'm your host, Nathan Webster. I'm excited to chop it up with you today. Today has been one of the most stressful, hardest days that I would say I've had in a very long time for several reasons, especially the fact that I'm trying to do 100 pieces. That doesn't make any doggone sense. I'm trying to make 100 pieces of content in less than 30 days. I said I was going to do it for the month of April. I started in April, not in April, but on April 2nd. So look, as you saw me recording, I'm doing a day in a life on this Thursday. It is the 9th of April, and by the time this is published, you will have 2 different days. You have a Saturday, which I did last Saturday, and you'll have today. So there'll be 2 days of a day in the life when it comes to Nathan A. Webster on the YouTube channel. I'm going to just say it's just been outright hard. So I appreciate all my podcast listeners, viewers, that's been rocking with me for like a very long time. I've been doing it for 10 years now, and I appreciate y'all, because if I would have known it would have been this difficult, I probably wouldn't have done it. So today's word is perseverance, and perseverance in a way that I'm about to tell you what's happened to me today, and the 3 things that's happened to me this week that I'm going to tell you. This content creation ain't no joke, but it's not a bad thing. And I advise and encourage anyone to do it if you're looking to level up. And I'll get to those 3 things of perseverance, the 3 reasons to level up as I talk through this. So you're going to have to hear me out. All right. So now that we got the folks that are wanting to be gone, turn it off the podcast. Let's go. Let's do this. Man, it's been a crazy one. So what I wanted to show you on this monitor right here is I went to Apple to check out my downloads, because we say in marketing, and I learned this from my other marketers, they're like, if you don't measure it, then it doesn't matter. So iTunes finally has started putting out some numbers, and I might be able to zoom this in for those that are on YouTube or watching, that I didn't even realize that I've gone up to about 70 followers. So thank you for those that have left a comment, a review. I got an email the other week that says I was on the features section. So I was like, what? Okay, let's do this, because this content creation, man, is no joke. And I was trying to record on this phone, but the lighting was just so bad. And if you go back and watch the video that I did on the 9th, you will see the difficulties I've had. And it's 7 o'clock. It's beyond 7 o'clock. I usually do my podcast like 8 hours ago, because I'm not an evening person. I like to chill. Like right now, it's just not the time. But content creation, this is what you go through when you are creating content. It's agnostic of the day, the hour, the minute, the second. When you need to create content, it needs to get done. That's why I'm going to say perseverance is the word of the show. It's the word of the day. It's the word of the month. It is the word for content creation, because number one, you have to be disciplined. And I say be disciplined because I no longer want to accept mediocrity for the work that I've done. And I realize when you see or watch and listen, because I don't know what you do when you put on these YouTube videos, when you go in the very beginning of my day in the life of today, you're going to see me talk about, like, man, content creation has made me stay disciplined in this perseverance, which I didn't know I was going to talk about earlier, it has made me stay extremely disciplined because I can't be all over the place, especially when you're talking on a video. People don't have time for that fluff or that second to have you look around and not be focused. You got to stay focused on that lens, on that camera. So I'm happy to see that I'm growing, and I'm growing because I am being consistent and not only just putting out content on a regular basis, but the substance of my content, the value of the substance that I'm talking about. It is more diverse and it's just not over the fundamentals. It's fundamentals through real lived experience. So that's one thing. So that's, if you go to YouTube, I might even post this video, and I might make it a day in the life. If you go back to the day in the life, you'll see it. And so make sure you check this out so you see how my growth is. And I did post it on my Facebook. If you're, maybe I did it on LinkedIn as well, but I shared it, but I'll go back and put it on there again. So let's get into this content creation, because we're talking about perseverance. And I'm going to change over the view from there. I'm done with that. I'm going to share this image right here that you see. And I hope you are looking at it, for those that are on YouTube, because it says I ain't scared. Well, I ain't scared because I had this video that I did, and it talked about when you get rejected, do this. Matter of fact, I see something now that I need to fix. So let me go ahead and fix this, because I want to improve this, because this is where we're moving from discipline to what I already said. I'm not doing mediocrity anymore. We are now focused on staying consistent. So let me just give you the three. I'm going to tell you discipline, consistent, and substantive. Kind of already said that already, but I'm going to talk about the substance later, because I want to make sure when we talk about staying disciplined on the substance that we're gonna do, we got to be consistent. So I'm going to come back to this image, because I did this image, and this is the thumbnail. It took me forever, y'all, to do this thumbnail. And the thumbnail is what I've learned when you do YouTube videos, not Instagram, not Facebook, not TikTok. It's crazy. It's only in the ecosystem of YouTube where your thumbnail needs to match your title and the first 30 seconds. And so this kept me up all night. So in the morning, I was talking about how I'm like, this does not match the video. Like I was like, man, I am so upset, because when I play this, and it's going to open up in a new window, it starts to play, and I'm talking, and you see I froze it right there. That's my thumbnail. As you're gonna see, I went from here to here. Okay, you see this right here? This is where it gets serious. And I'm going to also want to show you something right now. I'm getting some text messages, and so it's kind of blocking. So you're staying. Not staying? I'm getting distracted. So I'm just going to come back to where the number one, discipline, to number two, consistent, and three, substantive. I'm now able to stay focused, because I realized how, I think I got it in the Marine Corps, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'm learning that I was all over the place because I could be, because I was around people that gave me grace. But on YouTube, that's not the case. So when you're doing this content creation, and I watch about maybe 4 to 6 creators say, I created content for 30 straight days, and this is what I learned. I'm going to say, I'm not creating it for 30 straight days. I'm going to do this 100 pieces of content as fast as I can with the right substance, which again, I'm going to get to here in a little bit with the bonus. I'm going to do a bonus one too, because I got one more thing I want to say, because 3 is just not enough. As you're staying disciplined and consistent, you're going to see that, yes, this thumbnail is consistent with the other ones that I have. And so if I go to YouTube right here, I'll pop this over. If you haven't gone to my YouTube and subscribe, please do so, but only do if you're going to watch the videos. And you can hit like and everything else. But you're going to see my videos right here. There is a consistency when it comes to being along that thumbnail where you've watched my videos. You can at least look at the thumbnails. The image, the thumbnail, in case you don't know, is that image that allows you to see what it's going to be like. And, it's that I guess the image trailer, if you will. And I'm being consistent with it, but I realized the image wasn't telling the story. And so being that it wasn't telling the story, I was like, man, I got to fix this. I have to fix this. It was gnawing at me this morning, but even last night, I was like, man, it feels good. It feels good. And I couldn't wait to see it. And then I watched it. I'm like, man, my thumbnail ain't got nothing to do with my freaking video. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, right? So that kept me going. So this content creation, what it has allowed me to do is get really laser focused on not being busy, because that's what I was. I was busy doing a whole lot of stuff, but I wasn't as productive that I could be. And I would say it's okay because I like doing different things. I'm ADD, so I always say I'm ADD, but I not medicate. I'm tired, y'all. So this is what it sounds like when I'm tired. Like my thoughts are not clear, but it's okay. We're gonna go roll with me, and I appreciate you hanging with your boy. So I self-diagnosed myself as ADD, and so when I'm ADD, it's all over the place, and I'm not staying focused, which didn't allow me to stay consistent, which comes back to where I wasn't disciplined on being substantive to what I wanted to do. And y'all, it's crazy because it's all coming back to this stupid thumbnail, right? You're like, what thumbnail? Let me bring it back. This one, like, I loved it. I ain't scared, because when you take that photo, that photo of where you set it up, if I'm using my tripod or my other tripod, or having someone take my picture, I'm really thinking it through before I do the video. And even if I am doing the video, I'm thinking about, okay, what it's going to look like when you look at my thumbnail for the day in the life. I did the picture while I was on a walk, and it was a picture where I'm like, you know what, this would be really good, because I was thinking about what is it going to look like. And so this gets me every single time, because we view and buy with our eyes. And so this was consuming the bejesus out of me. I don't know what bejesus means. Let me use a different word, because I don't want to forsake my Jesus. I was like, what is going on with this image? Because it's not about the substance. So let's get into it. So I showed you the first image that showed you that my podcast following was going up, right? The second image was what I thought was good because it was what was feeding me, which leads to number 3, substance. Talked about having discipline, staying consistent. And when you're disciplined and staying consistent, you get to the substance, the meat of it. And I realized that my image, the full duration for someone's experience, to click on the image did not match the video, which leads to my last one for the bonus, okay? So hold on, keep watching. So when it comes to everything that, and I'm glad you can't see what's happening in the corner because it's all the text messages, the distraction, but I can stay disciplined and stay focused, because what I realized when I was doing my podcast 10 years ago, I was just talking a lot of it to hear myself talk. And even when I did my podcast at like 45 minutes to an hour, I'm like, good God, I'm tired of hearing myself talk. You get to the point initially where you're like, I'm scared, to where I am tired. I'm scared of talking, to where I'm tired of talking, to where I don't want to hear myself talk anymore. It's crazy, that evolution. But anyways, let's talk about the substance real fast, and I get to the bonus. So the substance of this right here, thumbnail, is coming to a video that I watched for, I probably watch it 2 to 3 times a day on average. It's probably not that many times, but I did say that in the video. But I haven't watched the video all the way through, to be honest. Honestly, the TV's right here. If you're watching on YouTube, as you see, the TV's right here and it's behind me. So I don't really watch it, but I do listen to the music. And so as I listen to the music, and sometimes I say, okay, I need a break, let me pop out. I watch it and I'm like, oh, there's certain things I still haven't seen but pop out. And what popped out to me in this video, which was last year, was this girl. She was getting rejected. And I was like, is she getting rejected, or am I just seeing things? And so it took me a couple of times to watch the video to see the clues. And I don't know if she's getting rejected because she did run up the stairs and maybe she caught up with them later on. They had a conversation. I don't know. You watch the video, let me know in the comments, and I appreciate that. There's a quiz in there too. But as I'm creating the content, I'm now putting myself in this ecosystem where I'm around the content, where I'm in YouTube. Like everything is YouTube. When before I just did a podcast, I recorded it, I didn't even listen to it, I hit publish, and that was it. It was out there. I did not measure it, I did not evaluate it, and I did not walk it out as in live it. I put it out there and just said, I'm done. That is not the case if you want it to be good. If you want your stuff to be good, you need to put your stuff out there and you need to live it. It needs to be something that you own 100%. Like, not even just like, oh, I believe a little bit. No, this has to be your lifestyle when you're putting that out there. So this substance I'm now giving, I don't want to confuse or mislead anybody. So this content creation stuff has changed everything. And so developing these pieces of content in the next 30 days or less than that is not about a number. It's about understanding how my brain is putting together these thoughts to where it's just not me having this idea and I have this vision to where it's a dream, it's not reality. It's moving backward to where, yes, it's an idea and it may be a dream, but we're going to do the executable things to make it the reality. And that's the substance that I'm talking about, which leads to, and if you have questions or if you have comments, or if you say this is me, I would love for you just to engage on the channel in YouTube, and which leads me to the bonus. YouTube has forever changed my life, and I, for once, see myself in others, and I see how YouTube is the new ecosystem. If you haven't already watched or listened, how can I phrase this? Because this is where I kind of think it's deep. I was listening to a song, and it was SZA and Kendrick Lamar, and she kept saying chat. Well, then I realized that's what iShow Speed says. He says chat. Y'all, we're moving to a new era of social media, right? It's not, as Gary Vee says, it's not just social media, it's interest media. But YouTube is a different beast. It's a different animal. YouTube is where people go to learn things. So when I say I see myself in people now, I'm now having people reach back out to me to say, hey, thank you. I had the same issue, or I had the same experience, or thank you for sharing that. I have people call me. I have people now talk. I've had a conversation this week where someone said, hey, I appreciate you posting that video. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know, right? The bonus, which is where, for me, where I have always been late to the game, I'm now getting to the front of the game. And not to say you can't, but putting out video content, the bonus from being disciplined, consistent, and having substance, it builds character. We would always say in the Marine Corps, dirt builds character. No, YouTube is building character, because I used to hide behind my brand, but then people would ask me, what did I do? Or what do I do? Or how have I done it? And now when I put myself out there on YouTube, people can see, oh, that's how you do it. I have someone said to me, oh, I knew you before you even knew me. And of course that makes sense, because, I watch these videos, you watch the videos too. But having someone say that to me, I'm just like, huh? Wait. And the person kept saying it, and then they said no, you didn't know me, but I knew you. I was like, oh. So the bonus piece is the character. And I think if you were to do content creation, you're going to see a different shift, like a completely different person in the character that you have. So this content creation has been a game changer, and I've been grateful for it. And so I appreciate the podcast and you rocking with me these 10 years. And I'm glad I've been able to elevate it and take it to the next level on YouTube for those that are watching. And I appreciate those that have subscribed. If you have, let me know. I would love to hear you and engage with you because you're now my chat. Because we will be going back to a live, and I would want to see you in my chats. Not just podcasts, because it's recorded, it's done and over. YouTube is going to be something that I will continue to grow into because it's just part of who I am. It has disciplined me and sharpened me to make me committed, more focused to the goals that I have, which is more substantive. And it's just not me just having these ideas. It's now me walking it out. And that is the beauty of the content creation. So when I'm challenging myself for 100 pieces of content within 30 days, it's going to be so much easier because this video podcast content that I'm making, I can chop it up and I know I'm giving out fire, dropping diamonds throughout it because I know I'm no longer just speaking to hear myself speak or to watch myself speak. Oh, there I go. No. I know what I'm giving out is I'm talking to someone, a specific client or prospect that's going to ask me these questions of why do you do this? How do you do it? What makes you do it? All the questions to why I don't feel I need to qualify myself anymore. All you got to do is go to my channel, watch my video, and you'll know all the reasons why, the 4 reasons why you should do content creation. Is going to give you the discipline you need to stay committed to the goals that you have set for yourself. And it's going to have more substance, which some people may call that the why. But I will say, you don't really, in my opinion, you don't really have the why until you realize what you really want. And then that's going to build your character. So I hope you like this podcast. And for those that are watching, you like the video and you have subscribed. And I'm going to put the video on here where I did my day in the life of today because I thought I got hacked. So you have to follow it, watch it. Till next time, wish you nothing but the best. Dream big and Godspeed. I'm out.